All right, you guys, so we just finished rehabbing our mobile home rental out in Hemet, California, and I have to say it came out absolutely awesome. We're actually at the open house right now, letting a few people check it out before we rent it out. So something is super fresh in my mind that I want to go over with you guys, and that's 4 things you absolutely have to do when renting out your mobile home, or any rental property for that matter. Let's go. So rental properties for us are not only going to be a wealth building vehicle, but also a way for us to create some passive income and get us on that road to becoming financially free. But here's the catch. When you're managing your own rental properties, like we are, or like you might when you're first starting out, it's not truly passive. There are a ton of things that you have to do to get it ready to rent, and a ton of things that you have to do when you're about to put your tenant in place. So these are some of the things that I want to touch on today. Let's jump on into it. Really quick before we start, I just want to introduce ourselves. I'm Alex, this is Lauren, and we made this channel to hopefully inspire you guys to get started today. This channel is going to document our real estate journey from total beginner to financially free. So if you like real estate videos, please like this video and make sure to subscribe so we can keep in touch.
These things might sound simple, but they're imperative for finding a good tenant. Why do you want a good tenant? Well, you want someone who's going to give you the least amount of headache and hopefully keep your investment in good condition. Keep watching to the end of the video because the last point is crucial for you finding a dream tenant versus a nightmare. And we're going to share a story of a seller that we just talked to who went through a year of hell. Yikes. All right, here's a list of 4 things you need to do to list your rental and find the perfect tenant. Number 1, after you've cleaned up, maybe renovated a little bit, great pictures for your listing. I cannot harp on this enough. They need to be bright, they need to be well lit, and you also need to capture as much detail of the home and take as many pictures and post them all up on your listings. I can't tell you, as a renter myself, going into a listing and not being able to tell the layout of the home, or there just being like 2 photos, it's not really engaging and I have no idea what I'm looking at. So I like to start at the front door and literally just do a walkthrough, picture, 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 almost like I'm giving a tour of the home or walking through the home in a flow, that makes sense. All right, number 2 is gonna be a credit check. While this doesn't paint the full picture of someone's finances, it will show you, if they have any derogatory marks on their credit, if they made any late payments, and what their income to debt ratio is, which is all important when you're considering a renter to put in place. All right, stay with me because these next 2 are pivotal, but the very last tip is super important. Number 3, security deposit. Do not skip on getting a security deposit. If you want to offer some sort of discount, call it first and last. You figure that out. But I like to get a security deposit because if a tenant's in place, there's gonna be some wear and tear. And also it shows that they have that commitment to you up front to bring kind of a lump sum to prove that they wanna move in and stay here long term. All right, number 4 is background checks. I know a few people who have skipped this to their peril, and it's something I will do every single time. It's gonna paint a little bit broader picture of who this person is for you. And it's gonna show you any criminal history, hopefully any evictions. Most people's are gonna be clear. There's gonna be nothing on there. And that's fine and dandy. That's what you wanna see. But if you see anything relating to evictions, fraud, anything unscrupulous behavior, then you might wanna be wary of that, of renting to that person.
So I was talking to a seller that I had been talking to for about, over a year actually. And, we'll go ahead and call this guy Ed because that's his name. I followed up with Ed about a property that I was looking to purchase. It's right down the street from here. And I was invested in this story that he had because he had gone through over a year of having to deal with a nightmare tenant. And basically, to just make the story really short, he got a tenant in there. He didn't do any background checks. He just wanted to get a renter in there and start making money. So she gave him the first month's rent. She was in there, and immediately on that second month, she said that the property wasn't to her standards, so she wanted a couple months rent for free. And he said, I can maybe do a month, but let me get a handyman in there. She wouldn't let a handyman in there to fix these problems that she said were having, that she was having. And so he was trying to get a handyman in there, fix it. Basically, she ghosted him. She didn't answer any of his calls. She didn't answer any of his emails, and she stopped paying rent. Now, this was right when COVID hit, so she was able to prolong the process of not paying rent for about 8 to 9 months. And each time I called, he was, following up with lawyers, having to talk with different people that deal with evictions. And he was super stressed out about the whole situation because she was basically taking advantage of his, goodwill of, giving her a couple months rent for free. Later down the line, he ended up running a background check. And what he found out was that this lady was a serial bad tenant. She just never paid. She sued her landlord. She ended up winning $30,000 in one suit because most of the time, these are just mom and pop people. It's just an older couple that happened to have this property that they wanted to rent out for their retirement. But she knew that the laws were in her favor. So a lot of times the landlord just ends up settling. Well, Ed, in the end, chose to fight it. He ended up winning, and she literally stayed until the last day, right before the sheriff was actually gonna, haul her out and give the property back to Ed. So this was a huge wake-up call. I hadn't actually gone through the process of screening a tenant. So that is why I just really wanted to harp on the fact that you have to do background checks on people. A lot of people will say that they're nice, especially, we're in a 55 plus community. So everyone looks like a sweet old lady or a sweet old man. You don't know that they could have all these different aliases, which this woman did, have all these different evictions on her record, and is just a person that takes advantage of people. So that's why I just want to make sure that you guys are doing background checks on people. I know it seems weird. It seems weird for me to be like, let me look into your past. But if this is going to be an investment and you want to find that right person, you want to have that relationship where you're being a good provider of, a place for them to live, and they're being a good renter, and it's just a symbiotic relationship. And that's how you're going to find these truly passive ways of income. You're probably getting into real estate for a chance to grow your wealth and to provide an income so you can become financially free. I know that's why we did it. We wanted to support our family, ourselves, and our parents as they get ready for retirement. If you want a full breakdown of the numbers, click on this video right here. I show you exactly how we set up this mobile home to where we're generating almost $1,000 in true, pure cash flow.